everyone, it's Mel Dennis here again for the NRHA Oceania Run for a Million special. So excited. We're getting over to Las Vegas to watch the Run for a Million, and today we're doing our first interview with Amanda Brumley from Brumley Management. Amanda is a driving force, by the sounds of it, behind the Run for a Million, which is such a mammoth production. Amanda, how do you handle it?
That's a loaded question. It's just, I love doing it. I love producing these events. I've had a lot of experience in the entertainment industry and through the horse shows and things like that. So this was really an event that brought all of my from the entertainment and theater industry to the horse show industry, brought it all together, and it's so much fun. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun to produce.
Oh, I can't even imagine, like the excitement. I've only watched it on TV and the special that's produced with The Last Cowboy, which has just been an amazing thing for the reining industry and for us to all be so much more connected and involved with you guys over there. Tell us a bit about how you got involved, I guess, to start with Taylor Sheridan and being involved with the Run for a Million.
Well, I met Taylor several years ago when he started into the reining industry and was riding with Tom Ferran, an NRHA professional, and he just got really bit by the reining bug, so to speak, and then he started off with going with his Yellowstone production and riding, and just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and his time went on. He wanted to expand the Western lifestyle and bring it more to the forefront with the performance horses, reining performance horses specifically at the beginning. And so he called me up in fall of 2018 and said, well, what do you think about this idea? Didn't have a name. He said, this is just the idea about following some, NRHA reiners and producing this television series alongside of this event. And I thought it was amazing. The concept was incredible. So he went to the Paramount Network to pitch the idea about The Last Cowboy and this event, and they loved it. They had to go through some, which they always do, go through some legals and things like that, and meeting after meeting. And then about 6 months later, in February of 19, end of that month, right before Cactus Classic, actually, he called me and said, all right, we're a go. And I'm like, for this year? You want me to produce this show for this year? Yep. And okay, so I dove right in, and he was gone on set filming a new movie that he'd written and was producing and directing with Angelina Jolie in New Mexico somewhere. So he was really hard to reach, and he was shooting a lot at night, so I kind of really had to wing a lot of it. And we didn't know if people were going to show up at the event or not. We'd never done this before, so you mean
like people not showing up for spectating or for competitors?
Yes.
Competing?
Oh no, spectating. We knew the riders would show up for $1 million, but whether we would, it's a ticketed event. At the time it was only 12 riders, 13 riders, and it's like, well, are people really going to show up for this?
And for reining in America, Amanda, sorry to butt in, but do you have many events that are ticketed?
No, we don't. It's been a really difficult thing for me. I've been doing this, producing reining events for over 23 years, and it's very difficult with this sport to have a large spectator audience, because there is some level of understanding that the general population does not have. When it comes to reining, they understand racing. They understand rodeo better than they would understand reining and performance horse competition. So it's been a really difficult challenge for me to bring on the spectator side. So in going into this and creating this not only this incredible event, but the last Cowboy, we brought in a lot of people who aren't even involved with horses at all. The first event in 19 was incredible. We had people from all over the world, people that were not into horses, never owned a horse in their life, a lot of people from the cities, businessmen, and it was truly incredible. And I will never forget the first Run for a Million and looking out and hearing the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, your hair on your whole body stands up. It's so loud, it's so electric, has so much energy, and it's just incredible. And the crowd goes absolutely crazy. And
being in the crowd, if you're not a reiner and you don't understand what's going on within the pen, the crowd would just lift you to be cheering and hollering and screaming alongside them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is what the greatest thing was, is I had friends that were obviously in the crowd, and there was people from Switzerland sitting in front of them. They didn't speak very good English. They didn't know a lot about reining. So they were kind of teaching, coaching them through this, and they were having the greatest time. And they're like, it was so much fun, and then we get excited and they look at us and they get excited. And it was just this incredible uplifting feeling of everybody coming together, whether they completely understood the sport or not. It's just an incredible feeling.
And I'm sure it's the same for you guys over there, but certainly within Australia, I know reiners know how to have fun.
Oh yeah. We definitely had a lot of people, had a lot of parties, and basically the celebration of champions party we had after the first year was big.
Yeah,
it was
I
great.
can imagine.
And it really gave us insight into where we could take this event. There's so much possibility about what directions that something like this can go in, and of course in 2020 we couldn't have the event, so we brought it back last year. We incorporated the cow horse, and it was huge again. It was just tremendous, and the competition was incredible. The horse was incredible, and but it was also the same kind of thing where we were at that point where, can we have it? Can we not have it? Are we going to get shut down? Are we not going to get shut down?
I mean, COVID would have really put that blow in after having such a successful first show, and then not being able to do the second. It kind of would have, I guess, broken a bit of the momentum and the thoughts around how it's all going forward.
Yeah, it really knocked the wind out of all of us about it, because we really had that momentum going, and then it wasn't, and then we weren't sure in 21 whether it was 100% go, so we kind of had the last minute, okay, this is a go.
Yeah.
And so, but things like this, I spend my entire year from the end of the event through to the next year's event working on this. This isn't something that just takes a few months. And so the go stop last year was like, but we at least had it, and it was a huge success. The first year we didn't realize the attendance at all. We didn't have the exhibit hall where we have this year and last year. And the line was actually from the arena all the way down the escalators, all the way through the casino, and all the way back to the poker room. And anybody that knows South Point knows how far that is. So we definitely were able to make some adjustments last year and avoid the long lines. But everybody was great. They're like having a good time and talking to each other, and 4 deep, and it's like, wow.
Well, even just standing in the line, you're going to be meeting so many different people. Like, you can't just stand in a line and not have fun, because there's so many people you can chat with, and it is what you make it, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah. And they were all
excitement build up to walking in those doors and chatting with everyone in the line, and where are you from, and what's a reiner or not a reiner, or
Exactly. That's exactly what was happening. And people weren't upset about standing in line. They were all having a great time.
Yeah.
Of course, it took us longer to get everybody in. But, it just overall was a fantastic show. And I knew at that point that this was going to be something extremely special. and then airing The Last Cowboy the first season once again. Are people going to watch? You're not really sure. And then it was a huge success with over 1 million viewers each episode. So, it just spun off and has just become incredible. Now it's the second, I believe it's the largest reality TV series on the network. So,
I know we had difficulty getting to see it in Australia.
Yes, and this is a couple of things that we do have an agreement with Paramount, because of the licensing rights, that we can't broadcast the $1 million competition within the United States and Canada. And then The Last Cowboy was only aired on Paramount Network. So if you didn't have that at the time, it was difficult to watch. Now you can, Amazon sells season 1 and season 2. They're selling them as Blu-ray, so it's a lot more opportunities to be able to see those. You can download them straight to your iPad and watch them on your computer. So it's starting to open up, especially now that it has proved itself to be a very successful show, and the network's willing to invest more into promoting it and offering it.
So for those who haven't seen season 1 and season 2, get onto Amazon, and you can download it onto your computer or iPad and buy it on Blu-ray if you want to have a disc. And for season 3, sign up to Paramount Plus. That's the plan, Amanda?
Yep. Season 3 right now, it's up in the air. It may go on Paramount Plus. It may also go on the Cowboy channel. They make these decisions as they get closer to airing. I know it's scheduled to air in November, around the same time that Yellowstone season 5 airs. Yeah. So it's hard to say exactly where it's gonna air, but we'll have more information when we get closer.
And I mean, just to briefly touch on Yellowstone, I suppose we can't talk about Reining and not. We're also excited for season 5, obviously. But how much has that also changed, I guess, how we talk about reining? For my friends, my family, anyone that says, what do you do for fun? Oh, I'm a reiner. Well, what's that? And everyone, automatically goes, who's not a horse person, from you ride horses, so you must do jumping or dressage, And so now to be able to say, have you watched Yellowstone? Most people say yes. And then I say, oh, that's exactly how we ride.
Yeah. Taylor's, he's so incredibly creative. And when he started riding Yellowstone, his goal was to incorporate the real horses, the real tack that we use, the real apparel we wear, and these horses that aren't these set horses that are unbroken, unsafe, and you're putting actors on them that have never ridden, and it looks terrible and it comes across corny. And he was determined that was not going to be what Yellowstone was, and since then has brought in real barrel racers and real cutters and real ropers, and that's, I think, what is part of Yellowstone that has brought the Western West back to mainstream America and brought the attention back to the Western lifestyle. And since then it's grown, and then 1883, and he still keeps the real Americana effect of it all, and doesn't fake any of it. And I think that's what people love. They want the real. They don't want the fake. And seen enough of that.
I listened to an amazing podcast series with Jefferson White, who plays Jimmy in Yellowstone, and that was fantastic, hearing all the actors and how they'd never been on a horse, and then they did the cowboy camp and all those sort of things. It was great to hear all of that background around it too. Yeah,
and they do the cowboy camps, and they learn a lot out of them, and then of course they have professionals go to the set, work with the actors there and the horses. And they've all learned a lot, all the cast members. And then I think we've had several of our people in the reining and the cow horse industry and the cutting industry make appearances in Yellowstone. And that's just brought our Western lifestyle, our Western performance lifestyle, even more to the forefront of mainstream media with Yellowstone.
And stay tuned for part 2 coming soon.